October is a month to expect the unexpected. We are in eclipse season. We are going to rock and roll this month with some changes. These are karmic triggers, karmic lessons that we are finishing up and getting ready for the next. Eclipses are cosmic triggers. They're game changers, and this is a game-changing month full of transformation, opportunities to surrender, opportunities to bring in something new, and we can have unexpected on both levels. Interesting new to things, and also things that it's really just time to let go of. It's a month to keep things as balanced as possible. Easier said than done, but you can do that. You can breathe, stay present, and ground in and keep things simple so that you're not blindsided by the unexpected shifts and changes that are coming your way. Hi, it's Prema. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to Chart Your Path. This is an incredible time of karmic change, cosmic change, and we're all undergoing a lot of shifts this month. This is Vedic astrology, the sidereal zodiac. If you don't know what your moon or ascendant sign is, and you'll want to know what your ascendant sign is for sure, then the free chart calculator is in the comments and it's in the description below. All right, let's get going with the month here. So it's a month of powerful change, cosmic triggers. There are lessons that we're all being presented with, and a lot of these are the lessons that the themes we've been going over around our personal independence and relationship themes and shifts over the last year and a half. And that eclipse pattern and the lessons are starting to shift and to change. Eclipses reveal hidden things from below the surface, things from in the dark, in the shadows that are unseen, things that have been hidden kind of in plain sight come out. And it is an incredible time where we're asked to let go and to embrace what's new. We need to do our soul growth during this time. On October 1st, Mercury went into Virgo. And what's wonderful about this is Mercury is exalted in Virgo. This is our great communicator and our great merchant. So great for business as well as communication of all kinds of communication. Wonderful for clarity, for deep thinking, research, details, finances even. It's our ability to be analytical, to think things through, to have a very organized, practical mind. Mercury has gone really slow because it was retrograding in Leo. And on the 1st of October, it went into Virgo, where it is exalted. Now, it's only going to be here for 18 days. It will move on the 18th into Libra with the eclipse pattern. It'll be turbulent after that. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But currently, your logic, your intelligence, and your ability to really appropriately judge things is heightened. So use it well. We need judgment, good judgment, to be able to weigh one thing against the other, what feels right for us, what feels wrong, what makes sense, what doesn't. And that is heightened during this period of time. Buddha is the name we use for Mercury, also in Vedic astrology. That mental brilliance that we have. So Mercury in Virgo is good for communication of all sorts, for writing, for speaking, for your ideas. Finish any challenging work in the first half of the month because you'll have the clarity to do so. Maybe you've been having a hard time thinking through things. I've got a couple of business projects that every time I sit down to get into them, they just seem too complicated, and all of a sudden the light is coming in. I can see where the dots connect. If you take the time for that in the first half of the month, you're going to not only see where the dots connect, you will also have what it takes. You'll see what you need to do very clearly instead of being overwhelmed by the details. If you are overwhelmed by the details, you are overthinking things, and that also can happen in Virgo. That's where you need to reground yourself, breathe, tune in instead of into all of the details, tune into your inner knowing. Mercury is going to help you to get organized on a mental and communicative level. So put the details in order, especially now, And keep in mind that whatever Virgo represents for you personally, there is going to be some action here this month, including one of our eclipses. So know what that house represents for you. On a collective level, it is the natural 6th house of the zodiac, which is our work that we do. It's healing. It's our daily habits. It's a good time to organize all of these things for yourself. And this will really help to alleviate some of the frustrations that we've been having since the last month. We have had Mars, our great honorable warrior, our great engineer, and strategist, very much the engineer in this placement. You know, Mars always wants to get things done, preferably yesterday, and Mars has caused a lot of frustration being in Virgo. Mercury coming into Virgo and being exalted there and owning this placement is going to really clear a lot of things up and a lot of frustration up. Mars is moved into Libra on October 3rd. The first few days of the month, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, are a little bit turbulent because there's a lot of movement going on, and Mars is going to line up with the mystic, with the south node of the moon on the 4th of October. So we're going to want to be extra aware of our responses, of feeling reactionary. We want to ground in again. We need to be in our bodies. With Mars, I always say sweat, work out, do yoga, run, whatever you do to take that extra energy off. So you felt like you did something, you'll be less reactionary, but you might need to sort of dodge the bullets of other people's reactions. So if you're grounded, you'll know what's yours and what's not yours, and just stay very present. So it's a bit of volatile energy during that time. Think before you act. I know that's like a no-brainer, but actually sometimes we are in a no-brainer and we don't think before we act. We're reactionary. We need to be responsive. We've got to be present to be responsive. In fact, this whole month, presence, grounded. That needs to be your mantra because there's a lot of change going on. We need to take things one step at a time. It's a shifting floor during this time. So we want to lean into our energy of being present and grounded, lean into that good energy of Mercury for the first half of the month, being clear with our minds, and we will be doing just fine. Watch out for that reactionary energy. And especially, I would say, on the 3rd, 4th of October, maybe steer clear of important conversations during that time. Venus went into Leo on October 1st. Now, that's our great connector, and it's been in Cancer, and we've talked a lot about Venus. It's been going back and forth and retrograding between Leo and Cancer, so we're moving forward. Moving into Leo now, coming out of the emotional energy of Cancer, and which has been fine, but now we're going to be able to get into some action, really a lot of the energy also of the artist and creativity here. A lot to do with our relationships. We've been really moving a lot on the relationship level over the past few months. The 1st through the 3rd, it is in Gandanta, and Gandanta is a placement of where karmic knots are being untied. It's kind of stormy. We can be a little over emotional during that time, but that'll clean up very quickly. So by the time we get to the 4th, 5th of the month, the connector energy, the artist energy is going to be very fired up. The leader, this is the placement of the leader, Leo is. It's going to be fired up. It is going to be a time where we can really shine in our creativity, where we can be creative. And keep in mind, art connects us all. And we don't have to be a drawer, someone who draws or paints or sculpts in order to be an artist. We can be an artist with our communication, with how we connect, with how we see the world, with how we cook or do our homes or our businesses. So that energy is going to be very relevant the whole month. And think back to 2015, because Venus has this very interesting cycle that every 8 years it returns to the same place it was 8 years ago. So 8 years ago it was in Leo. And there's a similar theme that you are going through, and especially around relationships, that you were 8 years ago in 2015, especially October of 2015. So I encourage you to just to reflect on that, because history doesn't repeat itself, but as Mark Twain says, it often rhymes. And we can really get some insight into the themes that are playing out for us. So there's been big relationship lessons, and now is the time to really be able to move forward and make some better choices. You'll find that you're experiencing some, that similarity, but it'll play out differently. Keep in mind that Venus is not just relationships, it's also values. It's money and wealth and finances and luxury. So all of those things we could be revisiting some themes about. October 10th, Pluto stations direct at 3 degrees of Capricorn. It is one of the outer planets. It is a background theme, but important to take note of as it's been retrograde for a while. Standing still, it gains a lot of energy, and whatever Capricorn represents for you will be impacted, especially around your opinions. Collectively, for all of us, it is our opinions around structures and organizations and commitment that we have and the work that we do. So be prepared for a shift in your opinions as it moves forward, and it'll start moving forward rather slowly. But it's not time this month to do anything radical about those new opinions. There's too much change going on with the eclipses this month. When there's so much change, things are unstable. In an unstable period of time, we don't need to rock the boat any more than it is. We all need to keep our sea legs on right now and stay very present and be able to move with the flow of energy. So just take note of those background opinions that are shifting and changing. Next month in November, things will be much more calm. It'll be more clear on how you want to move forward with those opinions. October 14th, we have a new moon in Virgo. This is our solar eclipse. It is an annular eclipse. It is at 27 degrees of Virgo in the nakshatra of Chitra. I will do an update on this for you. And I want to give you a little synopsis of what's going on now. So, it is an out of sign eclipse. That is the mystic, the south node of the moon. And it's always the sun, the moon, and one of the nodes of the moon that come together for an eclipse. This is the solar eclipse, which shifts our path. It's out of sign, meaning the mystic, the south node of the moon, is still in Libra in Vedic astrology, and the sun is actually in Virgo. So there's a little distance between the two of them, but it is like the eclipse that is the first eclipse in the shift of the eclipse pattern moving, and it is moving to Virgo and Pisces. That will be the next eclipse axis. I will do another video just on that as well. The actual nodes of the moon in Vedic astrology will shift. I go by the true nodes of the moon at the end of November. This will be a very impactful eclipse. You need to have gotten the lesson and get the lesson that you were presented over the last year and a half. That has been the Libra Aries axis, and it's shifting. It's shifting as we move forward into the Virgo Pisces axis. Virgo being all about our health and our work and our routines of life, the details of life. Pisces, spirituality, the end of the zodiac, where we dissolve back into the one that we are, that we all are, before we restart again in Aries. Very interesting time. A lot of insight, intuition, time of deep, deep surrender. Surrender doesn't sound sexy, I know that, but surrender takes a whole lot of strength. Surrender is our ability to be open and to release to the divine. Take note of what was going on for you in 2004, 2005. Something is resurfacing. That's the last time the eclipse pattern was here, and there's going to be a theme that starts to play out around that. So focus on your stability during this time, being present. These themes are repeating themselves. Again, I'll do a full update on this particular eclipse and all the ins and outs of it, but mark your calendar for the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. You'll want to keep things as simple during that time as you can, There's new beginnings, there's an endings and completion that are going to come in with this particular eclipse. And you need to have gotten the lesson or get the lesson from this eclipse pattern as we move into the next. And to support you in that, I am doing half-price eclipse readings. I do have a few spots open still. The link will be in the description of the video, in the comments or description of wherever you're seeing this. And I would love to support you in navigating this, get the lesson of the eclipse pattern currently, and also understand the lessons coming up for the next eclipse pattern with the other transits that are happening and all the important retrogrades, etc. So, link is down below. Love to see you for an eclipse reading. October 17th, the sun is moving into Libra. This is an interesting placement because our great leader in Libra is technically debilitated. Now, everything is good for something, including debilitation. That's where we can take the light of the sun, of the one, and we can allow it to shine on others. This is the natural 7th house of the zodiac. So in the 7th house of relationships, if we're making it all about us, we don't leave much space for the other. But the sun is technically debilitated here, and Venus is in exchange with the sun because Venus is in Leo and the sun is going to be at this time in Libra, and they create a planetary exchange and they uplift each other. So the sun, it will be supportive of the sun during this time. You may feel, especially if you are a Leo ascendant or moon, your confidence, might be shaken a little bit. But remember, it's not always about us, and that our confidence is really having that light within us that we can shine brightly, and we can also tune in and not just shine that out. We want to lean into the energy of the mystic, and that is trusting your intuition, your deep insights, being willing to surrender and to let go. What we surrender, we make space for what's new. And when we surrender and become detached, and that's what the mystic is all about, the south node of the moon, is when we are detached, then we've got space for things to let go of things and for new things to also come in so that we can stay on our soul path. So this is a very incredibly transformative period of time, but it is going to take our grounding and our presence. On October 18th, Mercury is moving into Libra. So it whizzed right through Virgo, and hopefully we got all those things done that we wanted to during that time. And now that great communicator and that merchant are going to come into Libra, also with Mars, with the south node of the moon, the mystic, and the sun are all there. So we've got a lot of planets lining up in Libra. Where's Libra in your chart? It's relationships. Relationships are going to be a little bit hot, a little bit challenged. Not the time to have the big conversation, okay? This is the time to tune in and not project on others. We will be having our next eclipse in Aries, but it'll aspect all these planets in Libra as well. So it is a time to speak from your heart, to breathe before you do speak and communicate, to give people the benefit of the doubt, and to realize that everyone's going through a lot of change during this time. You could feel agitated. You could feel a little volatile with Mars there. You could feel just, a little out of sorts, like which way are these connections and communications going, and whatever Libra represents for you, besides it being the natural 7th house relationships, can just feel like you have a lot going on, a bit like the Mad Hatter. So during this whole month, I know I said it many times, I'm going to say it again, you need to ground. So what does that mean? You need to exercise. You need to get your feet on the ground. You need to breathe. You can do pranayama, yoga. Make sure that you are connected and grounded in with nature. Meditate. Sit down, quiet your mind, and meditate. Tune into your heart. Just be in that place so that you can create some presence and you can get into the frequency beyond all of this change that's happening and the physical world in front of your eyes that's pulling you in that direction. Get some quiet time. We don't get enough quiet time, and we need it. Our minds need it. Our hearts need it. We need to just be in just a quieter frequency. So much is coming at us. This is a time where we want to stay detached, keep things as simple as we can, and keep things as balanced as we can. And balance is not a static point, it's constant unified movement. Oh, well, there's a lot going on in my career right now. Okay, maybe my relationships, there's not as much going on. Okay, there's a lot going on in relationships. Maybe I need to take a step back here. Just, you're going to have to sort of keep your sea legs on and do a dance this month. It's going to be important. I know you can do it. And keep in mind, it's not just us, or maybe you're not feeling a lot of this. You don't have a lot of planets here, but other people may be. So, again, don't take things so personally and be responsive instead of reactive, but you've got to be able to be present to do that. 28th of October, full moon, Aries, lunar eclipse in Ashwini Nakshatra. Ashwini is the physicians of the gods, the divine mystical doctors that bring healing down to earth and gives us the power to heal quickly from things. I'm going to be doing a full moon healing circle. The link will be down below for that as well. During this time, I will bring you a full update on this. But I want to give you a sneak preview. It's emotionally intense, okay? So keep these days around this eclipse as clear as you can. No big relationship conversations. It is a planetary lineup of several planets. We have Mars, Mercury, the Sun, the Moon, Uranus, and Jupiter are all in line with this eclipse pattern. So there's a lot of things shifting and changing all at one time. Eclipses are storms, cosmic triggers. They are game changers. And we want to get the lessons and we want to play the game. So we have to not be in denial about whatever needs to be shifting here. The theme has been our independence, our leadership versus, and our personal power versus our struggles and compromises in relationships. And it is the final eclipse here to get the lesson. Again, I'm doing eclipse readings to help you get these lessons and for the new cycle coming in next. It's a shadow period of time. It'll be happening right at 10 degrees of Aries. That's where the sun happens to be exalted. So these are trigger points. This one in particular, I want to say don't do risky things during this time. It's not time to, do the biggest rock climbing peak you ever did. This is a time to chill. It's the time to just chill, be in spiritual practice, keep your emotional buckets full. What I mean by that is don't look for others to fill up your emotional needs. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and you do that through your own practices. So you've got the month to get prepared, and eclipses aren't all brat. They bring in the unexpected. So you need to be ready for the unexpected, and some of that can be really good. These eclipses are going to bring completion. The eclipses this month. They're going to bring a shift of path, and they are going to bring some things into fruition that you've really wanted to come into fruition. It might be something falling out that, whoa, you didn't expect that, but now you know where things stand. Might be something coming in that you didn't expect that, and that might be really new and interesting. So I'm here to support you. I'll be bringing you the updates on both of the eclipses, the full moon healing circle, coming in eclipse reading, lots here to support you with. And of course, you have all kinds of free resources down below as well, including the Sacred Wealth Code quiz. I've got a couple of free trainings down there, and the chart calculator is there. Okay. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what's going on for you, what you're struggling with, or what you're opening up to next, what you're excited about. And I look forward to being again with you very soon. So much love.